Yes, good evening and welcome to THFC Till We Die, JSY Talks Football, and Josh. And welcome to this big debate show, which started actually as a bit of fun on Jess's channel, and it sort of expanded into something else, and it's something we're really looking forward to get into. So that is what you're getting tonight. Sorry about the intro. It was playing on one side of my screen, but it wasn't playing on my main side. So that's why I had to change it. So I do apologize. But joining me tonight, of course, is a lady that needs no introduction. She is the queen of the World Cup. She is the queen of Liverpool and Leeds. But Liverpool owners, if you get the wrong side of her, she will move Anfield away from Liverpool and move it somewhere else. It is the one and only JSY herself. Jess, how are you this evening, Jess? And thanks for coming on. Thanks for doing this. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a tinkle on mine, didn't we, about ownership and stuff. But yeah, thanks for having me and thanks for setting the show up. Looking forward to it, too.
No, I'm looking forward to it. And of course, down below, this young man needs no introduction. He really doesn't. He is the second coming of heaven. He's just come down. He just came down in the last few minutes. Man United shirt in one hand, England shirt in the other. He just went to kick Maradona's ass before he came down. That went all well. But this lad knows his shit as well. He knows his football. He knows his tactics. And for a young lad, I've always said it is an old head on young shoulders. It is Josh. Josh, how are you this evening, mate? And great to have you on again.
Good, thank you.
See, straight to the point. That's what I like about him. Straight to the point. Good, thank you. You know, he reminds me a bit of Simon Jordan and Alan Sugar, all rolled into one. I'm just half expecting to say you're fired. This is a joint stream, of course, between my channel and Jess's. So big up to everyone in the chats from both sides of the divide. Big up to Stacey, who's a 6 months member on here. Thank you so much for your loyalty and being a member for 6 months. Jess, one of these things, Stacey, do you want to say anything? I know you wanted to say something to her.
Where are you, Stacey, love? Decided to dip out of this one, have you? Bit too polished for you, Stacey, love.
Oh, dear.
At least one half of the divide is here. You know what I'm saying? Anybody thinks running a channel where she goes on? Is that right, Stacey? You stay in bed and chill out. Me and Josh will do it for JSY this evening.
And no, we don't have a ghost.
1 minute, Stacey, right? Me and Josh aren't saying, none of us on here are experts, by the way. It's an opinion. So nobody's right or wrong, by the way. But we know how to have a debate the right way. So I don't know why you're going to make yourself look daft, because you come on mine every day. So don't worry about it. I make myself look stupid all the time.
You make yourself look daft every stream on ours, so doesn't matter.
You take it easy, Stacey, love. You put your feet up.
You mention her name 3 times and she will appear. You know that, don't you? Yeah, hang on.
Sorry,
she'll be...
look, you see all see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like... apparently, William says you're not a ghost. You're the spirit of Spurs, apparently, Josh. So
that's incorrect, because I'm not a Spurs fan, so I'm not the Spurs fan.
No, he's the spirit of Man United.
I'm not a Spurs fan.
Big up to Mr. Brady. He says the game has evolved from club owners by local businessmen to mega multinational owners. Like, yeah, it had. There are some lower league clubs that's still locally owned, but not for how long. That is true. Guys, I want to start it tonight. Look, we were talking about Live Aid and how you both weren't even thought of when Live Aid happened, and I was a wee kid at 8 years old living in Monaco watching David Bowie and Queen coming on. Absolutely, because I love the pair of them. But just to start this debate off, how much has ownership changed over the last 50 years, just in football? And how much has English football changed over the last 50 years? From a sport that was a working people sport to now being a sport of the middle class and millionaires.
That is true. It ain't a working class sport anymore. Not in my opinion. It's not.
No.
And ownership has changed. Because if you probably look at 1970s and 80s, like when Liverpool were doing very well, they were owned by Rick Parry, who had Littlewoods Pools. at the time he was local to Liverpool. Look at it now. It's American owners. Back then, I'd be very surprised if any football team was owned by international owners. Whereas now, things have evolved and changed that much now. Because if you look at the hierarchy, there's not many that are born and bred from the club that evolved back then. It's changed. Is it right? Not in my opinion. Has football evolved? Yes. Is it a working class sport anymore? Not for me, no.
No, I mean, Josh, you look at it from your sort of 18 years you've been around, and when you do your history, like, and look back at United, how much has it changed even in your lifetime, Josh? From you had owners that had your club, you've all you known is the Glazers. Do you look back at the Edwards family and sort of look back with a little bit of sort of, I wish they were still in charge sort of thoughts, if you know what I mean, compared to how it's changed probably over the last 10 years? Have you seen a massive change? Even in local, you support Salford, you follow Salford as well.
Yeah,
lower league club. So how much has it changed in the lower leagues as well?
I think, like, since we got the Glazers, it's been much more about they don't really care about fans or anything. All they care about is money, and they'll take. They don't even care. They'll take money out of the club. They'll put the prices up. They'll try and get as much money as out of deals when they try to sell. It's all about money nowadays, not the fans, which is back then. It's more like actual ownerships by companies and stuff were much more passionate because it's more local. But when it's American owners owning a club, they're just looking to get money out of it, while it's local ownerships who are fans of the club are trying to improve the club and appreciate it more than American owners just wanted it for the money.
Yeah, I mean, do you know? Shall we start at Tottenham, because this is where this debate sort of come out of. So let's start on Tottenham, and I really want to start on the point of the owners themselves and what we went through in the late 80s, early 90s, to give people a little bit of context to why I'm starting here. We had an owner called Ivan Scholar, who was the first owner to take, I think Tottenham were the first club to go into a stock exchange. If my memory serves me right, I think Manchester United went on soon after.
Yeah.
And nearly bankrupt the club. We nearly went out of existence. Nearly nobody would have heard of Tottenham again. It weren't for Alan Sugar and Terry Venables coming in and buying the club. We all know about Terry Venables. I like to see Venables as, forget his dodgy dealing, but also look at what he did for Tottenham. He saved our football club with Alan Sugar. And then we had the Enoch family take over in 2001 and sort of make it more into a sporting entertainment centre than a football club. We've had plenty of protests over the years, but not as much as we did under the Alan Sugar to get him out of the football club. And we had Billy for change for Tottenham. And I was sort of praising Billy a little bit for saying, look, thank you for everything you've done. But I think the wider question to that is, does protesting do anything? To Jess's point, she said, well, finishing 17th twice is probably the bigger push your own is needed. So I want to start there with you, Jess, with that. Why do you think it's taken them 17 places to actually do something, where if they had done something before, we wouldn't have been in this mess in the first place? So why do you think that's happened? If they won't take any notice of the fans, then is it all commercial and all sponsorship? That's the bigger driver for this, what Tottenham are doing this summer.
Right, regarding change for Tottenham, in my opinion, that has no bearing on your ownership, why they have spent money. I understand protesting, but with Spurs, you can have more turn up for a relegation party than actually going out and protesting against the ownership. Protests have all been for wanting a change at Spurs, wanting the board to back the manager. I actually think the ownership, whether you like them or not, have gone out and done that. They've brought in a good manager. They've brought in players that are Premier League players, what you've all cried out for, experienced players, not you. 2 seasons at 17th, last season where you rode close to the win. Let's be real with it. It was very close. It went down to the last game of the season. And has that got a bearing on why they've gone out and spent the money? Yes, because you can't have another season like you had last season, in my opinion. Tottenham are too good of a club to be in the Championship. If they would have been relegated, Dermo, the amount of revenue that Spurs would have lost in sponsorships, in Sky, it would have been detrimental to the club. I understand protesting, Dermo, but this narrative of change for Tottenham or any other groups that decide to protest against the owners, that is not the reason why your owners went out and spent. They did it because they know they can't have another 2 seasons like they've had. So
I know. I
the
agree with that.
bearing, not for me, no, because it wasn't enough of your Spurs fans doing it. It was a small minority of people that did it or put flags in the stadium or the crowd. Are ENIC bothered about that? For me, no, not at all. And like I've said, if you still want ENIC out, you have to be consistent. Don't change your mind now because they've gone and spent money. If you've been beating that drum for the last 2, 15, whatever, 20 seasons, then you've got to be consistent with it and stick with it. And if you're just about the football and you just want to enjoy your football team, what you've all actually cried out for in the last 10, 15 years of backing a manager and bringing players in, well, they have actually done that now. So for me, the narrative should be going into the new season, and this is impartial, by the way, because I'm not a Spurs fan, is there's so much to be positive about. I think the negativity needs to be left behind with last season regarding younger players at the club protesting, because I just think you need to give them a season and see how things go, because I genuinely believe that with a kick up the arse, the ownership needed at Spurs to galvanise the fans and everybody else to get behind it. Support De Zerbi, because he's not a kind of manager that'll put up with shit, Dermo, neither.
No, I know you won't.
He'll just get his coat and go. And I genuinely believe for Spurs this season, you've got so much to be looking forward to. But the reality check, let's be real with it. You getting relegated would have cost you financially, TV revenue, everything. That's what really shifted their ass. My opinion is, we changed for Tottenham. It had nothing to do with any bearing on ENIC or the ownership. They did it because they had to do it, because you can't have another season or seasons other than Europa League win that you've had in the last 2 seasons. And that's me being impartial. I am not a Tottenham fan. I've got a lot of love for Spurs. I've followed them for the last 2 seasons. I do know what I'm talking about. I do a lot of research into it. But that's my stance on it as an impartial bit.
Yeah, and this is where it all started from. And I think there's a widened question to ask, really. And look, on Tottenham, I cannot wait for the season to start. I am so buzzing with the transfers they brought in. But for me, there's no point doing it this summer and then not backing it up in January or next summer. They have to continue doing this. It's okay saying, right, we're going to give you all the players we want now. But if we need a certain player in January, well, sorry, we're not going to do that. Or next summer, then there's no point. What's this summer for? It's just an exercise of just trying to please the fan base. And it's not good enough. And look, I want you owners. I want somebody to come in, 25 years at the football club. It's long enough. They haven't been successful. We've sacked loads of managers. A manager at Tottenham never lasted more than 2 years at Tottenham. Every manager was sacked within 18 months. And it
just hasn't been good question to that is, would it be better the devil you know than the devil you don't know? I'm not saying ENIC is the best ownership, by the way, neither. I'm not sitting here licking their ass, neither. But
no,
would
I know you're not.
Be more worried about, say, for instance, an ownership like at Manchester City coming to Tottenham and kind of ruined your football club? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're the best owners, what I'm saying is, like, isn't it better the devil you know than the devil you don't know?
Yeah, I think the owners have ripped the soul out of the football club anyway. I do feel that. I feel that the ENIC have rarely stamped that they've ripped the soul out of the football club, and it's entertainment centre. That's what it is. I've got no problem with all these extra events. I think all clubs will have to do it eventually to get a revenue coming in, because I do feel that's the way it's going to go. But I just feel we're the last on their list until we went through the problems we had over the last 2 seasons. Yes, we won the Europa League, and that was a brilliant night. It's a night I'll never forget. It's a night I think a lot of us will never forget. And the outpouring of emotion from winning that trophy was brilliant. But we didn't do anything with it. We sort of stayed on our laurels. We had a transfer window last summer, which was no good at all. We spent a lot of it infighting between the Bull, between the Lewis family, between Levy. Then Levy got the sack. They come out with a big letter. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. They come out in January and Blind Man and his dog could see we needed players. We go and buy Conor Gallagher. But we didn't really spend much money because the money we got for Brendan Johnson went on Conor Gallagher. And we didn't improve the squad either with the injury crisis we did have. So I think this summer is a case of relegation. You're right on that. I think they had to come out and do something different. But it's about backing it up now. They've got to back it up in January, back it up next summer, and keep De Zerbi happy. Because the first minute De Zerbi isn't happy, we all know, as fans, as football fans, and we watched the game long enough to follow us and people watching, he would just get his coat, and you've already said it, Jess, he would just walk out the club. He'd done it at Brighton, he's done it at Marseille. So he's not in backwards and coming forwards. And I think everything combined, if this is what they're doing, but I want them to back it up. If they back it up, then that's fine. I will then sort of back off a little bit. But until I see evidence of that, I will keep protesting, keep saying ENIC out. And I want the soul of my football club back. I just feel the spirit. I always say, I used to walk into White Hart Lane and I felt the spirit of Bill Nick. I go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I don't feel the spirit of Bill Nick. You could go to Rennan Road State, and I will welcome you in. Sorry, I'm not being rude. I haven't welcomed. Sorry. You feel the spirit of, I don't know, Don Howell, or not Don Howell,
Don Revy.
My fault.
Don Revy or Jack Charlton, and or players have played for your patch. You go into Anfield, you feel the spirit of Bill Shankly or Joe Fagan or Bob Paisley, and the players that have gone. Even at Old Trafford, Josh, you could feel the spirit of Sir Matt Busby and Georgie Best and all the players that have played United over the years. You go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I don't have that feeling of I'm home. To me, it just feels like a stadium. Now, that will come in time, I suppose. And maybe the younger generation coming up behind me will get to feel it as White Hart Lane. But I don't. And I've always said it. Give me a Tottenham side that's going to win the league and give me White Hart Lane any day instead of a stadium that's fit for champions. But at the moment, we were playing like relegation fodder. So to me, there's a lot still to do. Great start. But I'm not over that barrel yet. For me, they still have to do a lot more to prove to me that they have changed their ways. So this is where it's come back. I mean, I want to take it on to Leeds and Liverpool and Manchester United, your clubs. And I'll start with Stacey because she's late in. Over the years, Stacey, hang on, I have got, just give me something here on Leeds United. Over the years, Leeds provided one of football's biggest warnings about reckless financial ambition. Under Peter Ridsdale, the club spent heavily while expecting to qualify regularly for Champions League. When that qualification did not arrive, players had to be sold and the club suffered a dramatic collapse. Leeds fell to the Champions League semi-final to the third tier of English football. So the main question here is would Leeds supporters accept major Red Bull investment if it brought success, but eventually threaten the club's colours, badge or name?
Well, that's the main thing. That's been a concern since Red Bull became our shirt owners. Mm. Would it change the colour? Would they change the name of Ellen Road? That was one of the main concerns. If you look at, was it Red Bull Leipzig, how the Red Bull is just everywhere. It's massive on the T-shirt. And I think a lot of Leeds fans were a bit concerned that would go down that route. But So far, it's just a T-shirt sponsor. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen down the line. The 49ers have got a full control of the club. It's just entirely up to them.
Yeah.
We can sit and go, we don't want it, we don't want it. They don't have to listen to us. It's a business at the end of the day. If they're going to put a significant amount of money into the club, it might be an option. They might consider it.
Do you know what, Josh? You look at United, as I was saying to you before in the back, but to start the show, United, I remember United under the Edwards family, the most profitable club in England, never in debt. I never knew Man United in debt. And that's saying something. In all the years I've watched football, I followed Tottenham for 45 years now, before 6 years this year, I think, I followed the mighty Spurs. I've never known Manchester United in debt. You know, and you had the Fergie years, you had cup successions under Ron Atkinson, the Fergie years and everything. The Glazers came in. Was the Glazers the first sort of owners to come in to change the landscape of how to run a football club, Josh, in your view?
They changed it wrongfully, to be fair.
Yeah.
They came in, bought the club with borrowed money, loans, which added to then the debt, and then it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then kept taking the money out of the club whenever they felt like it, and focusing more on their team, their NFL team, than actually us. So they changed the landscape of ownership in a bad way. How you shouldn't what you shouldn't do while owning a club.
Yeah, because they borrowed a load of money, didn't they, off the Manchester United name, and that shouldn't happen. I mean, Jess, and look, if you look at Liverpool were traditionally connected to local ownership before becoming controlled by international businessmen. You had Hicks and Gillette prior period became association with debt, broken promises, and supporter protests. Fenway Sports Group bought Liverpool in 2010, introduced a more structured, data-driven model. Now, FSG have invested in Anfield in training facilities, recruitment, clubs, commercial operation. And also, FSG have completed 15 years as Liverpool owners in October 2025. So, are FSG excellent owners because of Liverpool's success, or were they fortunate to have the right manager and the recruitment team at the time?
When George Gillix and Hendry had it, they nearly bankrupted Liverpool. Like, seriously, they were very close to the win with Liverpool. If they wouldn't have took over FSG when they did, Liverpool could have gone up the same way as Leeds. They were that bad. Do I like American owners at Liverpool? No, but what I will say, they brought a lot of stability into the football club. They brought a lot of success into the football club. It didn't start like that under Jurgen Klopp. You got to think he went a fair few seasons without actually winning everything. We had Brendan there before that. They don't always spend the money in the right way, in my opinion, at Pool, with players and investment at Liverpool. But are we under a stabilised ownership? Yes, we are. Do I like the ownership? No, because when Rick Parry had Liverpool, you got to think like he was Littlewood's owner at the time, and that's where he wore like born and bred Liverpool. But unfortunately, the scope of football changed and the money changed, where transfers want what they are back then that they are now today. So you have to move with the times, I suppose, in that respect. Is it more internationalised in general now, football ownerships? Yes. But is it a business term for them and an investment as well? Yeah. Well, yes, it is. Let's be real with it. It's them. It's there to make them money as well. Not, you know what I mean? Not just to spend money, but they want to make a profit on their ownership as well, don't they? It's like alternate term. You buy something, you want to make a profit on it. And it's the same with football.
Of course you do.
You know what I mean? And do I like that stance? No, because I'm all for the football club should be first, but the fans should be right at the top of that list. But it doesn't work like that now. Unfortunately, you've seen it with Chelsea. That's another club. City. You've seen it with little clubs like, Sheffield Wednesday, unfortunately, that have the crap of poor ownership.
I mean, how many clubs over the last, say, 10 years or 20 years have gone bankrupt up and down the country? And
is it talking about existence, or are you talking about where the ad administration, or you were literally talking about where the club's like being dissolved and they've had to rebrand? You know, like
you look at Rangers. Rangers had to do that up in Scotland when they got demoted down, didn't they?
That's rebranding, didn't they?
Yeah, they did completely. You look at Leeds. Leeds nearly went to, you know that as well, you two following Leeds as well. Man United, Josh, under the Glazers, how close have you become to going into administration and nearly going to the wall? If you look at owners of Man City, you bring up a good point. Man City, you look at Chelsea, you look at Newcastle, Stace, and you look at how FFP has to be changed around them. I mean, ownership should be about supporting your local football club, and it should be fan-driven. But Jess is right. It's not fan-driven anymore. It's money-driven. It's about how much money can we make. When do you think the fans were sort of taken out of consideration when it comes to football clubs? That we just become, I would say, paying customers. The start of the Premier League, in the middle of the Premier League, or has it always sort of been there?
You got to think though, Dan, back in 70s and 80s, probably 90s, early 90s, football transfers and money wasn't as big because Sky came into it in 92, you know, when they rebranded the Premier League. So it probably changed just as I was born, which was 90s. So probably 35 years ago would put an average estimate on it, to where it's actually changed to the amount of money that's involved in football nowadays. You had footballer, you know, maybe £1,000-2,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? You look at some of these
not even that
now, 300 grand a week, 350 grand a week. You know, it's evolved so much.
It has, in the worst way possible.
Every advert you see a football player on an advert nowadays, or, you know, on TV you've got all the skin products and everything. There's just so much money and advertisement in football now than there were back in 1990s. You know what I mean? So has it evolved? Yes. Why has it evolved? Money.
Money. And I remember, Jess Stace, right? I remember back in the late 70s, just after I was born, and I sort of remember the sort of middle part of the 80s. But Trevor Francis moved from Birmingham City to Nottingham Forest for £1 million. £1
million,
and that was the highest ever transfer. £1 million. What would £1 million get you now? Nothing.
Do
you know? And players back then were on £300-400 a week. But they used to go to the States.
YTS scheme, Dermo, when they first started up YTS scheme, 16 quid a week.
16 quid a week. And I mean, like, players used to go to the games with the fans. There was always that connection between the players and the fans. When was that lost, do you think? Was it lost because of Sky? Because I think Sky have they lit the blue touch paper when they bought the Premier League, pumping the money in. Do you think that's when it's happened? And as long as you've been watching Stace as well, when have you noticed a change going to Ellen Road? And have you noticed a change over the years?
When it became more worldwide, I reckon when that more people were seeing the Premier League around the world as well, like yourself, when Sky got involved, obviously, money changes everything. So the more money that came in, that it seems like less the fans were important, and it was where the money was coming from that was more important.
Champions League used to be on ITV once upon a time. You know what I mean? Used to get certain games on. Now it's all you got to pay for it to watch it on TNT. FA Cup 30 years back were absolutely magical. Everybody wanted to play in it. Now it's just another tournament. You see that loss that's been taken off because of the money situation and everything else. It's just another tournament now. Where back in the day when I was growing up as a kid, FA Cup were like magic. Do you know what I mean? So much changed, and a lot of it as well is because of the foreign ownership that's coming, the money that they bring in with them. You know, like you're paying 200 million for Neymar once upon a time. You know, you've got all this, and you look at players like Ronaldinho, Cafu. They didn't go for half of that kind of money. It's crazy. Or you look at what Liverpool played for Isaac last season, 130 million, or what Elliot Anderson's just gone for, or what Tonali's just gone for. The inflation in money, it's crazy, and what it does to your football clubs. Big up, Alison.
It is. I mean, big up, Alison. I hope you're enjoying your holiday. Bless you. Josh, I mean, look, I've always had a sort of soft spot for United over the years. I think because of the likes of Brian Robson and players like that back in my day that would play through a brick wall for the club, would give everything. And you see players now, like even with us last season, Solanke, I can't play because I've got a sore throat. I mean, any four of us would give our right leg to go and pull on the shirt of our clubs and go out and play. And do you think players also play into that thing as well, that it's changed, Josh? Because I was hearing today, I was watching TalkSport, which I know I did a great video on that, and thank you everyone that's liked and subbed. I can't get over how many. I've got nearly 89 likes, and I'm thinking, me? I just don't get it. But thank you. About players don't take criticism, Josh. And it's about that years ago you could criticize a player, but now you can't. Is that linked to money as well, Josh, do you think? Is that linked to that players now are on so much money they think they're above criticism? And is that, again, the fault of these new owners that have come in that have pumped so much money into the game that players can now say, I want 500 grand a week? How much of that is the players today is bought into this sort of revolution of football in general?
We
look at Rashford.
Yeah, because of how much they earn nowadays, like the big players.
Yeah.
Because they look at that, the ego goes through the roof because they're playing for a big team on a big wage, and they expect that they shouldn't get criticism because of how much they earn, and even dip out of games or like big minor injuries or make up an issue or not train. But like the element of playing for a big team has gone because of the fact that they earn that much money. Like a lot of fans would honestly die to play for a shirt and give everything for the club. But while most of the players, because they're on that much wage, that they're only there just to collect a paycheck and leave, while the element of playing for a big team and doing and running for a brick wall, giving everything, has just gone because of how much they're earning from these owners, giving them these massive wages.
Don't you think there's too many prima donnas in football nowadays, though?
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
You know what I mean? I am
there
playing and I'm not doing this. How about do as you're told and put that football shirt on? How about that? Because I pay your wages. There's too much place. Or there's too much place, like, and I'll just use Man U as an example, and it's not a digging at Josh, but you look at the amount of money Manchester United have played on players that hasn't worked out for them. And they've paid big money for players. Anthony, you know, and you look at that club, you know what I mean? Jadon Sancho, prime example. Of the amount of money he were on,
70 mil.
And it never ever worked for him. And it's not just one player at Man United. We can be honest and say you could name 10 on your hand.
There's loads of them that cost massive.
You know what I mean?
Money.
Sometimes players think they've got that control.
Yeah.
Because their egos are that massaged all the time that they think all of a sudden that they're indestructible. You know what I mean? Too much of this prima donna, like it wouldn't have happened back in the 70s, 80s, early 90s. But that's how football's evolved.
Someone said it. Footballers these days are pussies. Back in the day, it was brutal. The game was brutal.
It was.
They could be took out clean and they'd get up and continue. These days, it's too much rolling around, waiting for that Oscar to come out of nowhere because the performance is just there. A little tap and they're rolling around. Like, come on, it's a tap. Get up.
I feel like getting cards out, 10 for the dive, and then give a point for how well they've done the dive. I mean, you look over the weekend, Bellingham, and your England manager coming out very honestly, I think, saying England didn't play very well, and that being brought back. However, the reporter did it, and I do agree with Simon Jordan. He only gave him a short sample of what Tuchel said. I think if you gave him the whole what he said, I think he would have got a different response. But the look on his face was, How dare he criticise me? How dare he criticise me? I'm the ones out playing on the pitch. And that was the sort of attitude. And you go back to when I was a kid, Graham Roberts, Paul Miller. I couldn't imagine Graham Souness of Liverpool saying that, or couldn't think back in the 70s, Jack Charlton or Chopper Harris of Chelsea back in the day, and players like that saying that. You know, if that was Graham Roberts, he would have grabbed Bellingham by the hook and the old Sancho by the scuff of the neck, kicked him up the arse and said, go out and play.
Do you think that's down now because of when players don't perform and a club don't perform, the managers always seem to get in that? That could be part of it. Because players aren't being held accountable for their performance, it's always the manager. So
and that's where it lies.
Back then, look at Nottingham Forest. What he used to get away with in changing rooms at bloody Forest. Managers can't do that nowadays. Look at all that when he booted that boot at David Beckham. Look at how much thingy. You know what I mean? Does it hurt to say actually you didn't have a good game? No, because it's not being honest as a manager. Look, whether I like Thomas Tuchel or not, I actually agreed with what he said, and I think that's bang on. What's the point of sitting there and going, do you know what? You played really, really, really well. Best you've ever played. Well, you didn't. So what's the bullshit about?
He agrees.
It's all about massaging egos, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's too many egos within the game now. And I just want to talk something about supporters. We're all big fans of our football clubs. We all love our football clubs to death. They're our second families, in a way. You know, our families are our first love. I always say Derval and the boys are my first priority. Always have, always will be. But my second love is Tottenham and Ireland when we do get somewhere. But that's for another show. I'm not talking about that.
You had to get that in there, didn't you?
Behave yourself, Josh. Just behave yourself. I do have the power tonight. I have the power tonight.
What power?
Huh?
What power?
It could kick you.
That power.
I don't care. I can sit back.
The Josh Ball, I don't care.
I can cheer.
But if you look back at clubs, right, and I remember going to Spurs in the 80s and 90s as a little kid, remember going to watch Jurgen Klinsmann make his Tottenham debut away to Watford back in the day. You look at Liverpool with Jess and you with Leeds, Josh, with Man United since the start of the 2010s onwards. I think I've got that right. Hope I didn't get that wrong, did I, Josh?
So,
Maybe more for Josh, but yeah.
I was 3 then, so.
Okay, you were alive, which is the main thing. I got that right.
Yeah, but it wasn't football, man. Right.
But the point I'm trying to make, you look at football over the last 30, 40 years, 50 years, it has changed a lot. But have our clubs changed a lot? But do our clubs see us now as customers more than supporters? And also, just on the flip side of that, what they do in Germany where clubs are owned 50% by fans, is that something that can work in the Premier League? I would love to see it at Tottenham. I don't know if you like it at Leeds or I think United. I think you'd be up for that, wouldn't you, Josh? Anything to get the Glazers out, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll happen.
It's a consortium, so it's not just one. Yeah. It's the 49ers that own it, but it's multiple people. Like, we've got, so obviously Prague's the chairman, and we've got Jed York as a principal owner, but then we've got like Will Ferrell. He's got a stake in Leeds United. So I think in Leeds United terms, I don't think a 50-50 would work. We've got a trust where if things at Leeds United are going bad, they will do the best to get an interview with. Oh, was that previous? Was it? He went to Arsenal, Jess.
That's me.
Oh, Keener. He did a few. We did a few. He did a few interviews with LUFC Trust. So sometimes we can get answers, but not all the time. I don't think a 50-50 would work.
See, I do. I really do believe that. You've got more say in your club as well. And, it's a 50-50 equal, which means you've both got equal ownership of the football club, so nothing can be just put out there and done. For example, Stacey, if you go for Leeds, if they wanted to change Ellen Road to Red Bull Ellen Road, for example, they can just do that. But with a 50-50 swing, they have to have that where they all agree to, whereas they can just do it now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
The ownership side for me, would have loved to see that come into the Premier League, because I think that would be brilliant.
I look at Tottenham, and I would like that at Tottenham, because I think we as fans, we are sort of left on the sideline and watching in disbelief some of our clubs being dismantled from what they were into what they are now. And I again, you look at Manchester United and the heartache they're going through. Now, you look at their club and their protests. That's how you protest, by the way.
Yes.
2,000 or 3,000 turning up every game.
Yeah.
What I loved about them as well, they went up and set their own football club and played in the United colours of the 1800s. After they were formed, United did play green and yellow when they first were formed. I mean, that's the way to do it, isn't it, Josh? That's the way to go out there and demand change, but demand that this is our football club. This is what we do every weekend, every week, home and away. We follow you. Yeah. Clubs like United, the Glazers, even Enoch, maybe, I don't know about Liverpool owners. I don't know about Red Bull. Maybe State, you could probably say yes or no in this, but they seem to forget who are the most important people at a football club. It's not the players. It's not the manager. It's not the directors. It's us, the fans. You look in COVID. How enjoyable was football in COVID without the fans? They had to pump in fake fan noise, didn't they, at one point?
I think Patrick Bamford, when he was playing for us, he turned around and said there was no atmosphere. It was awful to play.
Of course, there's no player, no fans there.
There's no fans there, so it's awkward for them. It's like where the 12th
man in the crowd.
Yeah.
12.
You know, especially at Ellen Road, you've seen what the atmosphere is like at Ellen Road. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not to have to any stadium during COVID, it didn't feel right.
No.
Because, like, I don't know if other clubs do it. I know we did at Leeds United. We actually had fans send in their photos, and we actually had pictures of fans in the stadium. It just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same to actually having physical bodies in the grounds, shouting, effing and jeffing or whatever, because that's what creates the atmosphere, and that's what the players bounce off.
And it worried owners then, because hang on a minute, we're losing our biggest income here. We can have all the sponsors we want, but hang on, without the fans, that's our biggest majority of money that comes into a football club. And again, I keep pointing to United because I think it's the most reverent club we can point to about this as well, and the way they've gone about it. I mean, I want to get other people's views on it, Josh. I've got a separate question for you about it, but I just want to get other people's views on it. Look, I can remember when the Edwards family owned Manchester United, and I said before, never in debt. And the Glazers come in now. There is a YouTube video out about how they took over Manchester United and how it was done. And for me, it led the blueprint to how you take over a football club. Hostile takeover. They used everything they could to get leverage to buy United. It happened with Spurs in the early 80s when Ivan Scholar took over Tottenham. The owners that owned Spurs were a family, 3 groups of families that owned Tottenham from the 40s. And when their husbands died, the wives didn't want the share of whatever they were given to them. There was a lot of infighting. So Scholar played one after the other, gained ownership of the football club, and then the rest is history. Nearly took us out of business. So, guys, from you on a Leeds and Liverpool sort of reflection, and not to be so blunt about it, also United being your bitter rivals as well for both clubs, putting it in there. Were you a little bit sad for the fans, United fans, for what they're going through? Or does football rivalry sort of take over and you think, do you know what? Banter is good. How do you guys think about what's happening at United?
I think for myself, I felt sorry for the fans rather than, having a big, massive party because they've had a hostile takeover. because it affects the fans. You feel sorry for the fans more than the club, if I'm honest. It's like you feel so sorry for. Well, but Leeds, we've been there, haven't we? Just been relegated. We've been for administration. We've had a hell of an ownerships. So you feel for them. I think for me, club rivalry goes out the window when something like that happens. Because how many fans put money in?
A lot of fans like that. When it's happened to some other clubs, it kind of unites, doesn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes tragedy in football, your views go out the window and you unite to support them, rather than, oh, you're our rivals, you ha 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 ha, you get nothing from me.
Yeah, I can go back to Hillsborough for that. I remember Hillsborough happened, and I remember the outpouring because Arsenal played Liverpool, I think, in the last game of the season. Arsenal won the league that year, and the outdoor went up to the Cop with flowers and laid it, at the Cop end of Anfield, and even going back, Josh, to your club, to the '58 Munich air crash, how much the football world, British clubs pulled together to give Man United players so they could fulfill their fixtures, and football can come together, but has that been lost, do you think, during the years? Sorry.
Devil juggling in background. Jess, have you got a moth flying around your bed? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm seeing things.
It's driving me mad, but because I'm sat on here, it's driving me mad.
Pretty late.
I've been watching this fly. I've been watching it for the last 10 minutes. It's flying all over.
I can see Jess coming out with a lighter and freaking aerosol in a minute.
It's annoying me. I can't lie. I'm trying to behave because I'm sat on here, so.
No, you can do what you want. If you have to hit it, flap it one.
No, I'll turn my camera. If I behave when I come on
hit
here.
the screen. But
I can imagine she just goes like that, and then she breaks the screen.
Yeah. Say something about Liverpool.
On the rivalry, or what football club, because I don't know, like, I suppose in England, right? I know we have Celtic and Rangers, which is quite hostile. Liverpool and Man United, and Man U and Leeds, and Arsenal and Tottenham. But if you look further afield, Dermo, like Italian football, Argentinian football,
Turkish football,
Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, it's a different sort of rivalry.
Yeah,
I'm not saying what we have here, but abroad, it's a totally different.
Oh, it is Killerfish, and it's totally different Killerfish.
It's brutal, isn't it? You know what I mean? They have their own ultras in ground. They have their own little sections of crowd. AC Milan.
I think that's what Catalan's touched on as well. Depends on the rivalry.
But when Jota died, did all the fans come together when Jota died at Liverpool? Yes.
How we're going to bring that up?
Did they all go and put flowers down and show compassion? Yes.
The Wolves and Liverpool and the Wolves.
Abroad, it may be a little bit different.
I mean, I remember Graham Souness sticking a massive Fenerbahce flag in the middle of a Galatasaray pitch when they beat them. I mean, that stirred a bit of problems. So, shall we move to Europe actually? Because it was part of the debate.
The thing is, we still get that now, don't we, Jess? We've got we what say that name of that club, and every time.
Well, it's not the club, is it? Right? It were fans. It's not the actual club, is it? Fans. Leeds fans aren't always behave, shall we say?
No, not always behave, but every time.
No, but they're not the only fans that have been murdered in football.
No, I'm just like this because that's all I know, really. It's hostile anywhere, but it's just going on what you were saying about the hostility is quite intense.
It is bad at Galatasaray. Not many English teams win there. We watched it last year. Like, it is they say welcome to hell, and it is hell.
It's right.
But Argentina's worse than that. Boca Juniors and player.
Their games are brutal. I'm not exaggerating.
Brazil,
Their games
I'll
are
tell you
brutal.
another one. Brazil versus Argentina is a fierce rivalry.
That's another one.
Was it Brazil, Uruguay,
even
or was it
Brazilian
Argentina,
football
Uruguay?
Well. Brazilian football.
What's the River Plate?
Yeah.
Is that Uruguay, Argentina, or Brazil, Uruguay? I can never get that right. I think it's Argentina, Uruguay, the Battle of the River Plate. I mean, again, big up, Niall. Good night. Good dreams. Take it easy.
Night, Niall.
Night, Niall.
Right. Josh, your fan's in. He's looking forward to
No, you can go now.
Now, I'm talking about ownership, right, in England. But look at the ownership. Let's take Serie A, for example, right? And, of course, again, I feel so old by saying this. In my day, right, when I was a kid, Italian football was the big thing. All the English players went to Italy. It was the place to go. And then Italian football suffered from corruption. It suffered from bad ownership. Should the Premier League, especially with the Man City thing that's happening as well, by the way, should the Premier League would have taken sort of hints of what happened in Italian football in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s and learn lessons there? Because if you think about, and that fly's going to be killed, I think, in a minute. We'll have breaking news. Fly killed live on stream. Do you think? Did you get it?
No. You should answer.
Breaking news: Fly still alive and flying free.
It's a moth, not a fly.
It's a moth.
I thought it was. Is it
No,
a
it's
moth?
a fucking moth.
Oh right, I thought it was fly.
It's massive.
So guys, look, I want to touch on this as well about should the Premier League learn lessons what happened with Serie A over the years, and also what are your memories of Italian football back in the day? Because I can remember Maradona playing for Napoli, David Platt playing for Bari.
Should we just go get some friends, Jess? You know
Why
what I
did
mean?
you just go and get a Diego Maradona t-shirt on with I love Maradona?
I'm on it.
You
Yeah.
said
For me,
I've got one.
I used to watch Italian.
Judas.
Okay, then. All right. I can go. Look, yeah, Graham's doing Juventus as
We're
well.
not brought some up like that. No, he has to bring Maradona.
Oh, he has to bring Maradona in.
Messi, he never played. No, look, okay, Ronaldo went and played in Juventus. So a lot of big names over the years have played in Italian football. And you look at the ultras. Who owns the football clubs over there? Ultras or the owners?
The fans.
fans.
Ultras, definitely.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. See, back in the day, see, I'm doing you now, Derma. Back in the day, I used to watch, is it Lazio
Yeah.
on Channel 4? That was my go-to for Italian football. So, like, Juventus, Ajax, and all that. So, you know what I mean? Back in the day, I used to sit down absolutely excited to watch that. So, it's always been brutal. And like Jess says, the elites run them clubs. They can say, oh, no, it's the owners. It's the elites. Without a doubt. Elites aren't happy. The elites will make sure you know they are not happy. Yeah. And not in a nice way, and even though, like, you know, there's, like Spurs protested, but they are worse.
Yeah.
They do get quite violent and quite barbaric.
Most of them part of the mafia. Linked to the mafia.
I'll put a spin on it to you. If Tottenham were a European club and the ultras did the protesting like they do abroad and it was Spurs, ENIC wouldn't be sat there now. That's my
no, they wouldn't be.
No, I cannot disagree with that.
They would make sure it were done and it were done right. They would get to this like 20, 30, 50, maybe 100 people. No. They would make sure that stadium were empty. There's a totally different. But you've got to think as well with Italian football, swing of it. There's a lot of corruption in Italian football.
There's too much corruption in it.
You can remember what happened with Juventus, 2005, I think that was. And all that happened with them. It's a little bit different to Premier League because and it still goes on to this day, in my opinion. The corruption. It's a different.
It's a different kind of corruption.
I don't believe we have that in the Premier League, that kind of corruption. Yeah, I know what you're saying in Man City with this offshore account and yada, 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 and other bits.
No, it's different.
But it's pure cheating that happens over there and lining the pockets, It's I think it's quite privileged in that respect with the Premier League.
I have to agree with that.
I probably get your point. And also, and no disrespect, Catalan, I really don't. Even Spanish football is probably some sort of different types of corruption. You look at Barcelona and Real Madrid. And this is no disrespect to any Spanish fans or your clubs. I always had a soft spot for Barcelona anyway. But how are Barcelona and Real Madrid paying for all these transfers when they haven't got to pop the piss in? I mean, who's bankrolling them? Is it the Spanish government bankrolling the two biggest clubs? Because that's what it is. It's only two big clubs in La Liga. You know, it's a bit like Scottish football. If you took Barcelona, Real Madrid out of the Spanish league, would it be as popular around the world? I don't think it would. Maybe Catalan might differ on me and might bring a different point to that. But Josh, would it be as popular, do you think, if you took Celtic and Rangers out of Scottish football, you took Barcelona and Real Madrid out of Spanish football? Would the leagues be as popular?
No.
So
let's say take top 6 out of Premier League. Would it be as popular? Probably not.
Yeah, it would be. I tell you why it would be, because you'll have more teams from in the Championship coming in that were Premier League clubs.
Would it be as exciting and as sellable as it is now?
It won't be sellable. It will not be sellable if the top 6 went and we bought 6 for example. It won't be sellable.
Like you brought Grimsby Town into Premier League, and just as an example, Watford or I don't know, Charlton Athletic, Plymouth. I just don't think it'd be as sellable on the map.
Isn't it amazing? Them clubs were in the Premier League. Charlton, Watford.
Yeah.
Can I just go back to the Italian thing, Dermo?
Yeah, of course you can.
We've experienced at Leeds United what Italians are like. Cellino, what was his ownership like for us, Jess? It was absolute turmoil.
It was all 39 days.
There was always something about him in the football news.
Yeah.
He is such a black hole on Leeds United. He was only in for 3 years.
Wanted to change badge and everything.
Wanted to change the badge. He was just such a bad owner.
He wanted to change it for the worse, all right. Whereas like Ridsdale, I'm not saying what he did to Leeds were right, but he was trying to bring the glory days back to Leeds with Ridsdale. And did he overspend and do a lot of things wrong? 100% he bankrupted the club, but he was only trying to do it for the good of Leeds. It just didn't work out, and he nearly bankrupted Leeds, and it took us a long time to get over that.
We had to sell the club.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
2025, we had to sell the club.
Crazy, him. That's Cellino.
Thing is, there was questions in how he managed to pass the ownership. I think ownership test. You know what I mean? What they go for. To this day, I'm still questioning. I believe he bribed. He did something, but I believe he bribed to get the ownership of Leeds United, because the way he behaved was not like an owner. He was so volatile. And every single thing that came out of his mouth, you were like, what the? As a Leeds United fan, we were like, worse than EastEnders. And that's saying something. Like Jess said, we've been through financial issues. Second.
Does he mean Harry Kane then? That comment you put?
Yeah. Apparently, and this is on Give Me Sport, Tottenham have held talks to bring Harry Kane back next summer. That is the rumour going around.
He won't. I'm not no offence to Spurs, but I don't think he will. He's got too much of a good thing going right now at Bayern. I'm sorry.
Maybe next season.
Do you know what? Next season, I would say, look, we do have a clause in his contract that we can buy him back this summer for 52 million. We can. That is the cut down price we can buy Harry Kane back for. I mean, you'd be stupid not to try. I said it the other day.
Isn't that undermining his value, though? For me, in undermining his value.
No, because
not
that's
really, because it was
the contract. Then no.
That's what was in the contract that we had. It was 62 million last summer and last January, and then it moved down to 52 million. That would be it'd be over 100 million.
Yeah,
Harry Kane.
That's what I mean. Would it be like
when they sold Harry Kane to Bayern Munich? There were certain clauses in the contract regarding Harry Kane coming back to Spurs. Still.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I can't see him coming back to any other Premier League club but us. To be fair,
I agree.
I can't. I can't.
See, thing is though, Diane. In all honesty, for what Leeds United have gone through, I'd happily have the Nottingham Forest owner.
I actually wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
I mean,
I don't want Man United any of my football clubs. He's an absolute.
No, you don't want that, man.
No, it's true. Ignore me.
I have an opinion, but he's just one step too far.
What is your thoughts on him, by the way? And we have dealings with him.
I don't have much thoughts on him, so I'm going to listen to what these two say and then.
Madman.
I had thoughts on him, right? We had dealings with him last summer over Morgan Gibbs-White and the way he went around, the way that he had Paul Morgan Gibbs-White standing there like he was a hostage to to football. Like he was standing, I swear to God, he had a gun to the back of his back. Like, you are definitely re-signing if you don't. He probably had his cat or his favourite dog with something up against the dog. If you don't sign, the dog's getting it. Like, I swear to God. And there he is. And you can see Morgan Gibbs Wright standing there. And it was the last place he wanted to be. I mean, Jess, I mean, and Josh, look, I think he's an idiot. I think he's an absolute nutcase. He's a few barrels short of a pint. I rarely do. I wouldn't like him anywhere near my football club. I know
is he that bad? Really, honestly, is he that bad?
No, he is. He is.
He's brutal.
I mean, come on, Gemma, what they did to that Wolves manager who took over, right? Yeah, all right, he didn't get him to the Europa League final, right? And I know they're going to close.
Waiting to 2 minutes to midnight.
Waiting for that time and then sacking him and doing what they did to him. I hope they get relegated this season. I'm sorry and all that. They were 4 managers last season.
It's like Watford. It's like Watford with their owners. Exactly. They're so quick to sack managers. Last season they had like almost the same amount as Forest had, like 4 of them. They're so quick to sack managers, like Marinakis is. Like literally, I mean, they only last couple of months and then they're gone.
Daniel Levy likes sacking managers, as I said. No manager lasted more than 2 years at Tottenham, if that.
But it's lasted 2 years, do you know? You're not even lasting 3 or 4 months under Marinakis.
Yeah, I know. He's
you probably lucky to last a month.
I'd rather have Levy any day than Marinakis, put it that way.
I'll take it back then. I'll take it back. No, thank you. I'll take it back.
Then that beggars the question then, is the fit to run a football club? Is there a Premier League test? Are they good enough? Are they strong enough?
Clearly not.
No. Not just Premier League either. Not just Premier League.
No, not just Premier League Championship. It should go all the way down.
Premier League Championship.
I agree, it should all the way down.
Yeah. I do.
Chef Wednesday with their owner. Better see what happened to Barry not long ago.
I mean, you look at Sheffield Wednesday, a club that my stepfather used to support. He was from Sheffield. And watching them under their current ownership nearly going to the wall. And he wouldn't sell. He would not sell Sheffield Wednesday. He had to be bought kicking and screaming to sell the football club.
Didn't he expected them to fork out the fucking tax bill? He was saying to fans,
they were demanding
the tax bill.
Demanded the fans to raise 100 million by themselves to pay the debtors or pay the players' wages. 100 mil, not 100 mil, a mil.
I agree.
If you wanted the fans to raise the money themselves to pay the players' wages, then you're clearly not fit and proper to own a football club.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think has to be put into this fit and proper test then? Do you want to see you can run a football club? I suppose you want to see investment, what you're bringing in. It's the Premier League. And this is my biggest fear with the Premier League. Stress test, that's another one as well. My biggest fear to Premier League, the Premier League is too big for its boots now. I just feel it's a league that's suddenly going to get out of control. How worried are you for your respective clubs if the bubble burst in football? Would your club survive? Now, I know Tottenham are in debt up to, I think, 146. I think it's million or billion. I think it's million. 846 million in debt. Due to the finances of the new stadium and everything. So, if football went bust tomorrow, would Man United, Jess, would Leeds, Liverpool, and Stace would Leeds, would they survive? I think Tottenham by the skin of their teeth because what Daniel Levy did over the last 20 years, 25 years. I think we would be okay. Jess, would Liverpool be okay? Would they survive if football went bang?
Yeah, I think Liverpool's bank debt's around 69 million. I think their intercompany debt's about 71 million. And transfer debt is around 70 million. But Liverpool consistently earns over 700 million in revenue. So I think Liverpool would be all right, Dermo, yes.
I mean, we're in transfer debt. Forgot that we owe transfers of 250 million. Man United and Leeds, guys down below. If football went bust tomorrow, if the bubble went bang, would your club survive?
I think Leeds will just survive. We have a bit of debt. I think we're 60 million in debt. We've had to sell players to reduce our debt, and I think we owe 22.5 million to club owners and 37.8 million owed externally. And we also carried legacy transfer fee debt, which is approximately 49.1 million. So I think we probably just do it by the skin of our teeth, but we'd struggle.
And how about United, Josh? I mean, Man United are 650 million pound. That's 758 million in debt, historic debt from leverage buyout Glazers family. Would you survive? I think your name alone might keep you up.
I think we would because of the revenue we get from everything that regarding like merch sold and stuff like that. The revenue that we're getting from games, I think we will. I think we would. Yeah.
So I just want to give you the top 5 clubs that are in debt at the moment. The top club in debt is FC Barcelona, 1.35 billion. They're in debt. So that's euros. So that's 1.15 billion pounds. Stadium redevelopment, Spania, Barca, and operational liabilities. In number 2, Tottenham Hotspur, 890 million pound in debt. When euros, that then converts over to 1.04 billion. New stadium construction. Manchester United, of course, are 3rd. Inter Milan are 4th on 550 million. And then Everton are 5th of 580 million stadium constructions. I mean, there's a lot of debt there, isn't there? And again, what's driving these new stadiums, guys? Is it these owners that want to make more money for themselves, more money for their investments? Again, have the fans been forgotten about? I mean, how many fans? I didn't want White Hart Lane broken down and dismantled and this Tottenham Hotspur Stadium built in its place. Is it White Hart Lane to me? No, it's not. It's a stadium to me. It's not home. But how do you guys feel? Because I feel you're lucky. You two are lucky. Anfield and Ellen Road. You're never going to knock them down and you're never moving for them. Josh, you are going to move to a new stadium, so you will go through what I'm feeling at the moment. How much, again, is this the fans being the last people to be thought of? And just quickly on top of that, Spurs would look to be moved. When we were leaving White Hart Lane, Levy did try to take us to East London. How is that having your best interest of your fans at heart if you're moving a club out of its historical home in London to another place in London? Now, thankfully, it didn't happen and West Ham moved into it. But is that a case that owners really don't give a shit about us fans or the history of our football clubs?
Just regards to that, was the fans given a chance to have their say on the stadium being torn down and rebuilt somewhere else, or did they just say,
Nope.
you're dealing with it whether you like it or not?
You're going to deal with it like it or not.
So with Leeds United, I think we actually showed us fans the concept art for the stadium, and I think we had some sort of say. They give always a deadline for the fans to have their say. Yes, Ellen Road, for as long as I know, I will never, hopefully, Ellen Road will never move. But we desperately needed the work on the stadium, desperately needed it. Our season ticket waiting list outweighed the capacity of the stadium. That's how much we needed the expansion. It's been, when was the last time we had it? It was 1994, Jess, last time Ellen Road had any work done? So you can imagine that's a long time. And obviously that comes into consideration that we've only just got Ellen Road back into Leeds United ownership after 20 years. I think that's some sort of reason why we haven't upgraded. We definitely need this upgrade in our stadium. I think it's part of the ownership and council funded our stadium redevelopment. Jess could probably verify that.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Jess. I mean, you look at Liverpool. You look at You look at Ellen Road. You look at Anfield. You're not really going to move from them stadiums, are you? You're not going to knock them down and move. And if you were, do you think the owners would say to the fans, right, this is what we're going to do, put it up for consultation?
When they were going to move to Stanley Park, Dermo, before they redeveloped Anfield, that's when George Gillette had it and Hicks. They did consult, whatever you want to say, the fans, and they didn't want to move. You can't, they've done it the right way at Anfield, to be fair. They've just redeveloped it, and it looks all right. I've been there a few times, and it does look, it's home, innit? It's home. Can't lie.
See, that was, I expressed this to you, didn't I, Jess, when they announced they were going to redevelop Ellen Road? I was so worried that they wouldn't have the same feel, the same look. But thankfully, they aren't changing much of it. They're just expanding the stadium, adding a few bits and bats and areas around it, which brings income into Ellen Road as well. And I think that's any fan's fear, really, when they're so used to a stadium being in that one spot and they just up and tear it down and move it. I think that's every fan's fear. And obviously, Josh is going to go through it, and you've already been through it. I haven't had that, shall we say, luxury of having that kind of, emotions and feelings about, well, you're moving my club, because I don't have that experience.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, you look at United. Is this a more Ennius move or a Glazer move, do you think? And why I say the Ennius, that is the point I'm going to move on to about part ownership as well. So,
I feel it's more Ennius move. I don't feel like it's more of a Glazers move, to be honest. Yeah.
I don't know, Josh, if it's a good thing, but how do you feel moving from Old Trafford, a stadium that's been United's homes for over 100 years, and the major success you've had there? I know the youth and the women are going to play in there, a bit like Everton have done at Goodison Park.
Yeah.
But do you want this new stadium, if you were being completely honest?
No.
And I mean, again, so European owners are forcing you, and we all know it's about making more money. It's about making bigger revenue. It's about whatever it is. But again, the fans are the last to be asked. And
yeah,
I get it. I get it. Clubs need to make money, right? But just surely we, the fans, have a right to demand what happens at our football club. When do you think owners will start listening to us? Or do you think that ship is sailed, gone, and that's a thing of the past, and we will never feel probably part of our football club again? And we just got to accept we're customers now. We're not fans, we're customers.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to the ownership as well. If they choose to listen to the fans rather than having to listen to the fans. Because you could say you don't want something to your blue in the face. They can say, yeah.
Not going to take it notes, yeah.
Exactly. Or you got ownerships that will listen to the fans and take it into account. And if they feel it's necessary, make some changes. No.
Yeah, I mean, Jess, we had it at Tottenham with the club's concessions, with the older fans, and taking away the bit of the discount they get on the season tickets. And I think that's been sorted out now, thankfully. But again, older fans and fans do need to be treated with respect, don't they?
Yeah.
And I feel Liverpool do that with you fans. They treat you with some sort of respect. I mean, if you could sum up the Liverpool ownership in one word, what would you rate them as? What would you call them as? If you can sum them up in one word.
Consistent.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to what Josh is going to say about the Glazers. I'm really to that. Stace, Leeds, one word for your owners.
On the fence for me. They've said they've promised things and they've kept them. It's just for me when it comes to the transfer window, we've been a little bit lacking in. Don't get me wrong, we've had some good signings, but
skeptical, Stacey's the word.
Thank you. That's the word. Thank you very much. Yeah, skeptical. they've fulfilled promises that they said they would, but there's some parts where I believe they're lacking.
Yeah. Josh, I'm looking forward to this. Josh, describe the Glazers in one word. You can be as brutal as you like.
Do I say that? Nah.
Well, if you want to say wankers, you can. I mean, I could do it for you. That's a very good one. That's a very good one. Enoch. In one word, I would say Benny Hill music and clowns.
That's not one word, though.
Yeah,
that's not one word.
To put it in the context, they're all running around the room chasing with the Benny Hill tune playing. They're all running around. I would call them clowns. I think. What word did you? Who used vultures?
Josh.
Me.
I think cynical. I'm with Stace. I think I have to use that word, cynical, because
skeptical.
Skeptical. That's it. Skeptical. Is there anything else you want to? Is there anything else you want to talk about, guys, on this topic? Is there anything that we haven't touched on, or is there anything you would like to mention, or you think we haven't touched on this? Because I've enjoyed this debate, and I hope you have as well, and I hope everyone watching has. I just want to very briefly touch on the game on Wednesday. Of course, you are playing Argentina in the World Cup semi-final. England's fourth World Cup semi-final visit. 3 times you have been in semi-finals. You've got to a final once, and you've gone out semi-final twice. Watched Argentina just the other night. Was not impressed with them one iota. I think their midfield is slow. I think they're very much laboured looking. But with the history between England and Argentina, and there's certain history I won't even mention on this channel. I think we can all know what I'm talking about. I'm waiting for that to come up. I don't know how long before that's going to be mentioned. You've got Maradona in '86 with the hand of God. You've got Beckham scoring the winning penalty in 2002. Beckham Gate in '98 when you lost them on the penalties. How are you going to beat Argentina on Wednesday? And what's your score going to be, Jess?
It's hard. We have to play better than we've played in any game previously. Put it that way, Dan. We've got to be on it from minute 1 to minute 90. It's going to be a tough one because there'll be a lot of pressure in that game and a lot of tension and a lot of. We haven't been in this position for a long time regarding England. Do I think we'll win? Yes. Do Argentina worry me? They've got good players. But the defence isn't that great for me, and you can't always just rely on Messi to dig you out, which I find a lot that with Argentina. I think England will just win 2-1.
Oh, interesting. Stace, Argentina, of course, have Messi, but England have Bellingham. They have Harry Kane. I just wanted, for you, your part in this question is Pickford and your defence. How much does that worry you about Pickford's erraticness and your defence? Can you hold out against a Messi like causing havoc?
I think we can, but it may be a little bit scrappy, if I'm honest. A little bit scrappy.
That'll be heated.
Yeah,
they'll be running around on floor cheating like they always do, Argentinians.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the world.
I'm not apologising.
Argentina is good at cheating.
They are.
Yeah, she is.
And I've gone 3-2.
I saw them against Switzerland.
I've gone 3-2 England.
3-2 to England. Interesting.
I reckon there's going to be some goals in that game.
Josh, I'm going to There will be. Josh, I'm gonna miss you Wednesday, mate. I really will. So I will get your. I've been banned from Jess's channel. I don't know why.
I won't even be on Jess's channel for that as
coming
well.
on the stream, guys.
I won't even be
Because they haven't been on any England watch-alongs, me, cruising.
I watch it with my dad.
No.
I watch it with my dad.
Yeah,
So,
I've told my mum she's been told she's joining us.
So you are the England manager. How do you tactically set up England to beat Argentina? And what's your score prediction?
For me, in that game, I feel we're going to be without the ball for the whole game, but Argentina probably going to have the ball most of the time, which will test our defence to try and stay resolute. But I think it's more counter-attack, which more for me, it suits our game depending on who we pick, like the wingers as well.
To be fair, Catalan, you thought we'd lose to Dr. Congo too.
The specific profiles of wingers we have suits our game of going counter attack against the bigger teams like Argentina, and their defense can be get at as well, which using a counter attack might test it a bit because their defense is not the best. And scoreline, I haven't even made a prediction Super Bowl yet, so
no, me neither. To be fair,
I'm going in blind. Oh,
so as England fans, would we rather face Spain or France if we got through? I'd rather face Spain.
Spain.
I think you beat Spain. I think you might beat France as well. Actually,
no,
don't.
I'm not that confident.
No, France have been way more convincing than Spain.
I don't think Spain have looked that good.
No, that's what I mean.
France
have been way more. France have been way more convincing than Spain this time.
I think Spain.
I don't see Spain knocking France out tomorrow, Catalan. Sorry, I'm going for a 3-1 win to France.
I'll see France
win. We used to Dr. Congo, Catalan, but we didn't.
I see France winning that. I'm not betting against France in any of these games, even against us. I see them. If we get through and they get through, it's going to be France. I don't see us beating France, and I don't see Spain beating France.
So what's your score prediction then?
I'm going 3-1 France tomorrow.
I've got 2-1 France.
I'm going France winning on penalties. I think Spain going to push them all the way.
I'm going to go 3-2 France.
I don't think Spain have looked that good this tournament.
And I'm going to go.
They haven't, but there's something about them. There's something about them. I don't know what it is.
They are going to have to bring their A game if they have got any chance of beating France tomorrow.
I can't keep relying on Lemmy Yamal because I don't think Yamal's that great of a tournament.
He's not been back.
Not like Mbappe.
No, Mbappe, right?
Yeah.
That French forward line is like anyone's wet dream. Them three.
The depth as well. The depth as well.
Who won the Spanish team?
Doué, Barcola, Mateta, at Cluj from Monaco is still a really good player. The depth that they have is insane.
It is. So, what's your score prediction for England and Argentina?
I'm going to go 3-2. Us.
Look, we know what you're going to go for.
I think England are going to win 2-1. England will win 2-1, I think.
Surprise.
You feeling all right, Demar?
Yeah.
You okay?
Sure, Devil's not holding you just holding you to ransom.
Are you okay? Are you drunk or something? Are you drunk?
No. I think, look, by watching how you played against Norway and watching Argentina against Switzerland, I just think your midfield three is stronger than Argentinians. I think Harry Kane, you give him a sniff, he will score your goal. Bellingham is really running England at the moment. And if he gets any room, he will damage. Messi didn't look that great the other night. You get flashes from Messi.
So
But there's nobody else in that Argentinian side that says to me they're going to pick up if Messi isn't playing well, that can take over from Messi. I don't think I've seen that. No. But it is a fierce rivalry. It's a football game like no other. But I just feel, I said it before, you won at the Azteca Stadium, which put to bed 40 years of hurt when you lost there 40 years ago. I think beating Argentina will put to bed 86 and everything that went with that game to bed as well. And I think when you last won the World Cup, you did beat Mexico, you did play France, and you did beat Argentina on the way to winning the World Cup. I just think this is your chance to win it. I do. I think England will win the World Cup because I just think
the semi-final in World Cup.
Who, England?
Yeah.
2018. 2018.
What? No, World Cup though, not European.
No, World Cup 2018. England got to the.
Yes, won it.
Yeah, you lost to Croatia, but apart from that, it was 1990. The last time you got
this way. In fact, like my mum's 60 this year. Last time they won it was in 66 when she was born.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in 1990. We got to a semi-final in 1990. So I'm hoping it's like a little bit of a.
I'm telling you.
Like the whole Leeds United, Liverpool winning it same time. Winning leagues at the same time. Type of superstition kind of thing.
4 teams won trophies, all with birds in their logos last season.
That's true.
Or the season before. Well, that's it. England versus Argentina, a fixture with more history than the school textbook, more drama than an EastEnders Christmas special. We will have tackles, we will have arguments, we will have nervous faces, and we will have Tuchel looking to run down the stadium to go to the loo after 10 minutes of the game. But if there is a hand of God, will there be VAR? We'll be talking about David Beckham. But whatever you're celebrating with Harry Kane or dancing with Messi, I want you to join the guys over at JSY Talks Football for the best watch along on football as well on Wednesday. Please do get over there. They do fantastic work. They do quizzes. They do crime nights. They do around the grounds on the Saturday. They do Liverpool watch-alongs, Leeds watch-alongs, Tottenham watch-along. Jess is doing all the pre-season. She's even joining me for the 4:30 in the morning game when we're playing in Auckland. I don't know why we are doing it, but we are. And it's a great channel. But if you do fancy a little bit of sympathy, do join me over here as well and give me a like as well if you can. Yeah, I'll be like Billy No Mates on Wednesday. I'll be going
like Billy No Mates.
With you guys, yeah, like Billy No Mates. But anyway, do get over to JSY Talks Football. Great channel over there. A channel we're linking up with this season as well, doing bits and pieces for them. Don't forget, on Thursday, it is our podcast, The Fans Perspective, as well. Also, 2:00 on Thursday with the Irish Lads Talk Spurs. On Jess's tomorrow night, I will be on here Wednesday for the England-Argentina watch-along. Thursday's podcast. Friday, we should have Rick from Last Word on Spurs joining me and Billy and James all on here for a debate. Looking forward to that. Josh, do you want to plug James's food channel as well and put his link in the chat for me if you don't mind? We'll give him because I think he's only a few away from 100 and we can get him up there to 100.
I think it'll let him put links in because he's not a moderator.
No, it didn't let me the first time around.
I'll sort that out, but if you can put it in for me, Stacey, I'd be grateful. It's good. He's only a few away. How many is he away from 100?
He's 19. So 8 of
Come on. There's 19 of you, mate. Just go and give a young lad a little bit of help. Put him on his World Cup, on his YouTube journey. Let's get over. Let's get to 100 by the start. England, Argentina. There you go. 48 hours. Let's get to 100. Really would appreciate it.
I don't think he'll let people click on it.
Big up to Playful. It says, Domo, I'll be in the pub. I'm afraid for the match, hoping for some massive atmosphere and a convincing win. Come on, England. I'm telling you, it's coming home. But on that bombshell, an Irishman saying it's coming home. I don't know what's come home with me. I told you. I did say it would rub off with me eventually. So It's work.
Can I just,
You've done your
can I
job.
just say something as well?
Yeah.
Do you want there? Can everyone follow my TikTok as well?
Yeah, of course you can. Put it in there as well. And also, James got TikTok. Do get over there. But guys, do get over to Jess's channel. They're on tomorrow night. I'll be joining them there for France versus Spain. A very good watch along. And then on Wednesday, it is the big one. England versus Argentina. Kane versus Messi. Do you know? Hand of God or no hand of God? It doesn't really matter
He has
now,
to
does
keep
it?
getting that in there, doesn't
Stop it.
It's part of history.
It's part of cheating.
It's not like
Right. Okay, let me ask you a question then, right? How come? Right, I just want to genuinely ask you a question. This is genuine, right? I'm no piss taking nothing. How did it? No, it doesn't. See, it's my channel, so you don't have
It's
power.
worked now. It's worked.
Oh, you worked it. How come a 6'2" goalkeeper didn't bash away a 5'4" player? Answer me that. If you were a goalkeeper and you got a little midget running at you, right, and you know he's going to be dirty, he's going to handle it, wouldn't you just take him out of the way?
How was he supposed to know?
And then the day, it shouldn't have been handballing it anyway, so it's got nothing to do with fucking goalkeeper.
No,
Linesman referee, and he shouldn't have been cheating for the start, Dermo.
I agree.
No leverage.
I agree.
Doesn't sound like you agree the amount of times you mention it.
It's like blaming everybody else apart from you to play that shit, isn't it?
From your ass cheek. Do you know what I mean?
We had it done to us from Thierry Henry. We had it done to us.
Thierry.
He didn't. He handled it twice.
Yeah.
Thierry
Henry.
French. Yeah, there's a video going around about him going up to the pearly gates, and St. Peter's at the gate let you in, right? And he says, is there anything, Mr. Henry, that you regret? He says, yes, I handled the ball in the Ireland game, stopped going to the World Cup. He says, now can I go into heaven? St. Peter said, nope. He says, St. Peter's having the day off today. St. Patrick here running the gate and sent them straight down to the hell of fire. But
how much would bet Maradona got in Derm's dreams, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not little donkey carrying him round.
No, Dermo is the donkey carrying him around, Jess. Sorry, Dermo.
On that bombshell.
We're also been up to Dermo's channel, right? Because he's all right plugging our channel out there. But Dermo's not far from 3,000 subs. So anybody in mind that isn't subscribed, make sure we're subscribing to Dermo's channel. Because it is appreciated. Let's get him on the road to 3,000 subs. Don't worry about us.
Yeah.
Let's get Derm to 3,000 subs. It's a big milestone for the channel. He's a good man. He helps me out a lot on my channel. So make sure we're subbing up, peeps. It's free to do.
And he gets confused a lot by me.
And on that bombshell, we should leave it there. Thank you all for watching. And that moth has now become legend. We have to call it a name now.
In a minute, don't you worry about that. Fucking nice.
We could have saw this live on air. Could you have not squatted it live on air, like? But anyway, guys, we'll see you on Wednesday for the England watch along. Any Tottenham news, of course, I will bring to you fast. I might do a show tomorrow up for Newsbeat transfer show, so watch out for that. But guys, thank you all for watching. Come on, you Spurs. In the Zerbi, we trust.